And with Aspen, I was speaking to the former mayor of Aspen, and he showed me a photo book of the affordable homes, so to speak. And they look like chalets, and they were very cute. And in order to qualify, you only needed to make less than $150,000 a year, which kind of covers most of us here.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
And they actually, it's kind of late to do, but what they were doing is they were collecting a fee, and then they invested in property before it all went up. And then so they kind of got there at a good time. So we can't really do that. But there are other options. There's community land trusts. And for instance, as you mentioned, I was in Hana the other day, and I learned about the Hana Ranch donated 100 acres to the Hana community for affordable housing. And the community said, well, we want to have half-acre lots. And they talked to a couple developers who said, no, that's not practical. And the reason is they wanted the half-acre lots because many of the Hana residents have gardens and are sustainable. They're into subsistence farming and gardening. And they also wanted to have that option that when one of their children got married, or when the parents moved out, they could add a dwelling.
Yeah.
And so that's, of course, not legal with present zoning, but it would be a project district, which means they could make the zoning appropriate to that district. Now, there might be some tweaking that needs to be done with the zoning code, and what I'm interested in doing, like I said, is making zoning fit the community. Not the community, try to squeeze itself into zoning, but look, okay, in this Hana community, these are not going to be people from the mainland who want beautiful home estates, which is nothing wrong with that, but it's just a different demographic.
Yeah.
And these people, they want affordable homes, they want to have the flexibility to do farming and to add for the different generations. So, and instead of putting air conditioning, they want to, like, you can build in a way that you don't need air conditioning. Maybe not in Lahaina or Napili's cooler, but in places like Hana, Haiku, if you just orient the house in a certain way that the breeze goes through, if you maybe put solar panels on the south side, if you orient the windows to the north side, if you put lots of stones in the walls to keep it cool. There's ways to build to not use air conditioning.
I absolutely learned that because I lived for 3 years in Kihei.
Yeah.
Through the summers that everybody complains about and everything.
Yeah.
But I lived in a concrete and block dwelling,
yes.
Positioned, like you said, so
yeah.
direct sun didn't
yeah.
stream in. I was comfortable all the time.
Yeah.
So I know it's possible. One of your important mottos in life is question everything. You're like that. Where are the roots of that, and what's that about for you?
Well, that's about that things are not what they seem, and that's why I studied psychology. That's why I studied politics, because in politics you see that there's a distribution of power and wealth that is not always or generally not beneficial to many, many people. In psychology you see that people base their actions on the subconscious. Many of us are still, we made a decision at 2, I'm not going to be open, or I need to fight hard, or I'm never going to let people see my real self, or whatever decisions we made. And we were young children, so they're not going to be rational and logical, but that's just how human beings are. So it's really important for me. And then that's called conditioning, that as life goes on, we get conditioned. And it's important for me to peel the onion off and to see, well, who am I really? Because I believe that we are all goodness at heart. And that we want to be connected to people. We want to get along with people. But then there's all these pains, all these hurts that have happened to us. So back to the question, everything, that to not assume that what appears to be is, but there's always a deeper level of understanding in any given situation. And there's always more than the eye can see.
Yeah. You mentioned this woman, Mele Carroll?
Yes, yes.
And she has a quote, "This business is all about relationships." Something like that?
Right, right. She is a state representative, and she invited me to come shadow her in the state capitol for 3 days at the end of the legislative session. And I really enjoyed that. And yeah, she's one of my role models. And that's what she says. This business, meaning politics, it's all about relationship. And so, and that's what you learn, that some of your colleagues you're going to really know you see eye to eye with, and you can pretty much trust that their view on something is going to be your view. And then there's some who don't. And then there's some who have a completely different perspective. But politics is about coalitions anyway. So even the people that you don't agree with, you kind of put that aside and you try to connect with them as people. Because that's what I learned as a therapist, is all people, I could connect with anyone, or any animal, any child, because if you just connect into the heart of that person, it's all life. It's all the same life force. And like I said, some of the people in politics, of course, are going to have different values, different perspectives, but it's about keeping a good, open relationship with as many people as possible, because that's what it's all about. Can you work together?
Yeah. What do you do for fun? I know you like to dance.
Dance. I like to dance. Yeah, dancing, I would say, is my outlet, because then I get my exercise. I get to see my friends, and so it's a way. Yeah, it's a way for me to just let go.
Yeah. Anything else? Is that your primary thing that you do?
I would say primary. Yeah.
Okay, good.
And I have a really nice cat.
Where do you live?
In Kahului.
Kahului.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Well, I just anything else you want to add right now? Do you have anything I didn't cover? I guess one question is why politics now? I mean, it's such a challenging time, and now's the time you're getting into politics. I commend you, and I guess what I want to say is I really hope that in this time we've been talking today, I feel like I've learned something more about you. I've known you a little bit over the years, and if you can bring what you've talked about today into politics, I think that would be incredible. So I just really hope that you can bring all of that into the arena with you and really make it work.
And it's all, again, about coalition. I mean, obviously on the council there's 9 people, and you need 4 other people to agree with you about anything to have it go forward. So yes, for me it's also about making connections with various department heads and state legislators and community leaders of all types of communities in Maui. It's all about connecting with as many people as possible and bringing that in. So why am I doing it at this time? It's just how my life evolved, and I think it's kind of bringing together various of my passions, and it's also this feeling of I want to really give my mana'o this life. I mean, that's why I became a therapist, that I really want to be able to feel like I've completely utilized all of my talents and skills, and to the most benefit of the greatest good of all. And then I can die happy. In a while, long time.
Well, I commend you, I do. And thank you so much for being on the show today. I really appreciate your presence, and I appreciate you being my first foray into politics.
Well, thank you. I appreciate your openness and your great show here, and your reaching out to people in the community and bringing that to the television audience, to the rest of the community. So I think that's very great, and I'm very happy that you're doing that.
Oh, thank you. Okay, well, that's it for this episode of Life on Maui. And I want to thank our sponsor for this show, Key Moments Video Memoirs, creating personal documentaries for the significant events in your life or to tell your life story. And that's keymomentsvideo.com. And hope you enjoyed the show as much as I did today. And until next time, aloha.
Call me crazy, but I'm never